Record. Hi, Chacha.
Hey Mao,
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Fine, fine. It's been cold these days here.
No, really. Here as well, yes.
Remember me? Where are you living at this moment?
I'm in Yerevan, Armenia.
Ah, okay. It's cold. You have the seasons there?
Yes, of course, it's very cold. It's very cold in the winters.
Uh-huh. I would like to interview you because many friends ask me you should interview Shah,
Mm,
and that's why you are here.
it's good to be
Mm,
here.
tell us a bit about you, where you grow up. Have you been out of Armenia
So yeah, I mean, I've always been here, born and raised,
in the same
living
city?
in Yerevan. Yes.
How old are you?
You don't know how old I am?
No.
Okay, guess. I always say this.
26?
26?
Mm-hmm.
No,
22?
no, no. Curioso once tried to guess. Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
He say 28,
Ah.
but he's still not close. I think some of the Spanish people know my age. They found my FIDE profile,
Mm-hmm.
and there it says the year I was born. So I was born in 2002.
2002. Ah, you're very young.
See,
19, no, kind of,
almost.
almost. Soon you are going to have 19, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm technically 18.
What is your Elo FIDE? Your FIDE Elo.
FIDE is very low. FIDE is 2000, in the low 2000s right now. I dropped a lot of rating. I haven't played the chess tournament in maybe year and a half at this time because I had to stop to study to get into university. So I didn't play any chess, and now I I'm studying, so not so much time to play professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 2 years
And
already.
how did you meet for player chess?
I saw it randomly on chess.com,
Mm-hmm.
uh, chess.com.
See.
I just see a four-player chess. I click on it. It was interesting to me. I liked it, and yeah, I just started playing.
Mm, what do you think about the situation of being blue and greens at this moment in for player chess?
It's really not as bad as a lot of people think,
Hmm.
especially aborting games. They, when you see your blue or your green at the start, you already start to feel bad, and no, you just have to play good moves. The most important thing is for you to have a good opposite, of course, for him to
Yes.
support you. But even important is for you to be a good opposite, for you to support your opposite too. All the openings are fine. Classical, Sicilian, Caro Can, most of the team's openings,
Mm-hmm.
they work fine in FFA, but you have to be more precise if you're blue and green, because you make one mistake, then you get mated or you lose a lot of material. So you have to be very careful when you play. But if you play good, if you don't make mistakes, it's totally fine. Of course, a lot relies on your opposite, um, but you can say that for red yellow too. If you're red and yellow plays bad, you're gonna get mated.
Mm-hmm. So in your advice in your opinion is not a matter of
It doesn't
openings.
matter. You can play d6, c6, you can play c5. You can play knight f6 even. You have to play good moves. Most of the people that complain,
Mm-hmm.
sure, they have a point. I understand what they're saying, but instead of complaining, uh, they should really concentrate and work towards getting better at the game. This is what I always say, because even if you maybe get some kind of not a preferred position, some kind of bad start from the opening, you shouldn't really lose instantly, and people should concentrate on not making blunders, not doing mistakes. And what's more important is that you should always try to defend very well, because imagine you're playing a game and you have a good position. Let's say you have a big advantage,
Mm-hmm.
but imagine you're playing against a computer, an engine. Can you win with your big advantage against an engine?
Not
Probably not.
necessarily.
Probably it will be very hard. So you should always try to defend like an engine, because even if your position is maybe bad, if you defend the best way, if you try to find the most challenging moves, it's still gonna be really hard for the attacker to finish you. And I find it to be the case most of the time. Even if your position is bad, you can find the best moves. It will not be so bad.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips for be better in defense?
Defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Like how people maybe are wondering, okay, that's fine, that makes sense, but how should I do
well,
that?
it's very situational. I
Mm-hmm.
can't talk about exact things. It depends on what game you're playing and on the position. Something that's really good for improvement in general,
Mm-hmm.
and that I don't really know. I'm not sure that everyone does this. I mean, people should go back and review their games. So you play a game, you finish, you lose, or if you win, you should go back and go over your game. Start from the beginning and then finish it. You should analyze your games.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should do this. I mean, me, even now, I play a game, I'm gonna analyze it 3, 4 times maybe.
Ah, really?
Very thoroughly. That's how you get better, because four-player chess, it's such a deep, hard game that you can't really, you can't really not make mistakes. You play a game, it lasts 50, 100 moves. There's no way you don't make a mistake. Because what is your goal if you're playing a game? On each move, on every move, you should try to make the best move of the position.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't blunder, even if you don't make a mistake, even if you win the game, the goal is always to make the best move every move. So if you're playing a game that lasts, let's say, 50 moves, which is a small number I'm giving you,
Mm-hmm.
there's no way you made for 50 moves the best move in the position, even if you win. So you should go back, try to find the best moves, and that's like a good scenario I'm giving you. Especially if you lose, you should go back and go over your mistakes. Everyone should do this, and you should try to find the defense. Maybe you should try to find a better move so that next time it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
When you
People,
started to tell me.
people don't do this. They don't analyze their games. That's how you get better. That's the most important thing.
No, I must confess, I do that, but with some games.
Not
Not
every
not
game.
not every game.
You should do it every game,
Mm.
even if you win.
When you started to play for player chess, who were the players? Like, do you remember who at that moment?
Good
Who do you
question.
remember?
Of course, I remember.
Like
Of course, I see.
friendly or in chat, and then who were the who were the top player? Who were the players that you like to see to follow?
Yeah, I remember the top players. I remember Hest, of course. When I started to play, almost 2 years ago, Hest was number one, and in a big way. So, of course, he was the best in the world, and the second place was like 200 points behind him, and that was great. I saw. So at that time, I was new to four-player chess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get better. How do I do this? I look at the leaderboard. I see who is the best player. At the time, it was Hest. So you go into Hest archive, you watch his games. That's how you learn. You try to learn from the best. And I remember doing this a lot when I started playing. I would just look at Hest's games, try to see his ideas, because at that time he was just miles ahead of everyone else. He was really good. I remember, well, Hest was is the big one, and Hest is probably the player that I learned the most from. But I remember Besher, I remember Neo, you, I remember, I think. There were a lot of good players. Yeah, the I think Lag Press, I remember. He was one of the first good players I saw. He doesn't play anymore. But yeah, that's how I got good too. Just watching the good players play. Carlos was there at the top when I started playing.
How often do you are you playing at this moment?
Well, you can check my games. I don't have that many games played. I think if you look at the leaderboard
Mm-hmm.
and you check the players' games I mean, if you're looking at FFA leaderboard, if you go FFA rapid games,
Mm-hmm.
standard, I think I have the least games in the leaderboard out of the 20 players. I'm pretty sure. So I don't have that many
But
games
you
played.
play it. You used to play more before, no?
Not really, no.
No.
I have a lot of Blitz games. I have almost 1,000 FFA Blitz. But you have to understand when we talk about the amount of games,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean? So you have to break things down. You have to look at the actual thought. So what does it mean to play a lot of games? Why does this matter? It probably means experience. You play a lot of games, you have thousands of games played, you have a lot of experience, and that should be good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But experience you can get in other ways. I think if you, again, look at the games that I've played, it's not a lot. I haven't played that many games, especially if you compare it to the other players in the leaderboards. But the amount of games that I have watched,
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen, is a lot. Yeah. So when it comes to experience, I think I have a lot of experience.
At this point, for instance, we are stuck with the issue of blue and green. Most of a lot of people are aborting, but if we were having like more high-rated games, and if we could see how the leader guys deal with those colors, maybe we weren't in this situation.
I mean, I think you can still do that. I think you can still do this. I can suggest looking at Eye of the Tiger's archive for blue green. He plays very well with those colors. He deals with it just fine.
Hmm.
I agree that it's not cool that a lot of players they just play twice in a week or in 2 weeks just to stay on the leaderboard. But I don't think that's a bad thing exactly. I don't think you can force them to play because in order to make such a it's a really big change in the rules. It's really going to impact the game in a big way, and maybe it's a good idea. Maybe you are right. I don't think there's necessarily a true or wrong here. I think it's an idea to be thought about, but I doubt that the admins do it because if you're going to make such a big change, it needs to impact the game in a really big way. It needs to make sure the game improves, and at the moment, four player chess is improving rapidly. You look at the numbers, you look at the live games, you look at the players that are online. It's going up uh, all the time. So I don't think it is attractive for the admins to make such a big change because things are going very well right now. Why would they make an update like this?
Leaderboard should reward the present, you know, like who are the players that are being active. If you want, like we can have okay, we can have like the leaderboard from the year, and a monthly leaderboard that reflects
No,
the
I
present.
disagree. I mean,
Hmm.
would you like a player plays 2 games but really good games, or 20 games but not so good?
No, if he find you know, if all people of the leaderboard, like if you are sharing board with Tigre, with the Tigre, with Hes, with Coppola, for instance, it's highly
Hmm.
probable that we are going to see a very good game.
Okay.
So if we invite, if we arrive to make or to invite them to play, it's not going to be. I don't know how can be bad for the community.
It will be good for the community, sure. That will be a good thing. But if we don't do that, if we keep it where it's at, I think it's good too.
Okay.
I don't think it's bad. The thing is, it is really difficult to get to 3,000, especially today. And I think some people don't realize that. I think people don't know how hard it really is to get there and stay there.
Hmm.
So a lot of people, uh, I think, and I'm not talking about you, Mao. You're a really good player. You've been what 2,800. You're always in the top. But if players have not been in the top, If they don't know what it's like to get there, I don't really think their opinion matters too much. I think they should first try to themselves get high in the leaderboard and really stay there. Then maybe they can come up with really big ideas. Mm, because especially today, I'm looking at the leaderboard now. Number 20 is 2,700. That's a lot of rating. Getting there is very difficult. And sure, if you want to, if you're a lower rated player and you want to be integrated in the leaderboard, you have to work very hard to make it here. You have to play a lot of games. In the 2 weeks, yeah, sure, play 10 games, 20 games, try to get the wins, try to get some rating. But when people have already made it, they can do whatever they want, really, because they're already here and they have the right to play twice in 2 weeks if they want to. It's okay. It's within the rules, and I think it's fine. But personally, me, I think it's not cool. I think if you're playing twice in 2 weeks, that's kind of lame. And you talk about the community being involved. It's very important, and I don't think high-rated players should only play against high-rated players. I myself play in a lot of lower-rated queues. I played 2,200, 2,300 games. And I think it's a good thing for the community. Me, I don't care about my rating too much. I play because I like it. That's why if you look at my games, in 2 weeks I play many games. When I'm in the number one, I
Mm.
can play 10, 15 games in 2 weeks. If I lose it, I lose it. It's okay. I'll get it back.